Good afternoon, staff. Good afternoon, board members, members of the audience. Let the record show that today is December 16th. The time is 7 p.m. And we will now call the Amherst County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We did want to, a little too fast here. We have a couple of agenda amendments. The board's being asked to make a citizen member appointment to the Service Authority Board. The term of West Woods expires December the 30th, 2025. Staff advertised a vacancy. Staff received a letter of interest from Mr. Trevor Gillespie on December 11th. Do we need a motion for that?
Do we need to withdraw the previous motion?
Yes, if
Yeah.
we're going to amend the agenda.
Yeah, so we're going to amend it. I
Okay.
was reading it for you all, okay? So there's a approved agenda with an amendment,
I'll withdraw the motion.
okay?
And I'll remake a motion that we approve it as amended.
All right, there's a motion on the floor correctly this time from Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Agenda is now approved. We will rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Pledge will be led by Mr. Martin, prayer by Mr. Adams.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you've given us to come before you and conduct a business for Amherst County and for the citizens of Amherst. Lord, as we go through this evening, please keep your healing and safe hands upon all of us as we leave this place and to travel home. We also want to appreciate and thank you for the season we're within and the Christmas season. We're all being blessed and thankful for what we have and as we go through Christmas. Lord, continue to keep your safe hands on all of our military and public safety, law enforcement each and every day with the difficult jobs that they perform. Lord, we ask you to give these board members before you the strength and the wisdom to make the best decisions for Amherst County as we proceed through the night. In all these things we ask in Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Thank you, Mr. Martin. We'll now move on to citizen comments. Before we get into that, can I see a show of hands of anyone here who wishes to speak on the subject of assessments? One person. And you were here the first time we talked about this, weren't you, Mr. Lappert? Yes, because I remember you, because I didn't know whether I was going to read that kind of prologue, epilogue, but I won't because you were here and so you knew all that stuff. So that's fine. You got 3 minutes. Be as brief as you want. Yeah. We'll now open citizen comments.
Good evening, Board. I'm here for two purposes to discuss. Basically, the first one is regarding the assessment. I made an appeal. I did it in writing and on the phone. And during that appeal process I requested information regarding how they came up with data, like a checklist for, how they assess property. Is it a concrete block house? What kind of foundation, et cetera, et cetera. I've received nothing from them. I believe that it's our constitutional right to have that kind of data provided to us so we can fairly assess what we're going in to discuss with them. They have all the information, we have nothing. So they should provide that to us prior to going in for that meeting. Now I think I'll leave it at that and I'll talk to at the end on the other subject.
All right. So, Mr. Lowry, just be clear, you have not gotten the information you received, correct? Correct. Okay. Can you look into that? All right, is there anyone else here wishing to speak on public comment? Yes.
So
You need your name and
My name is Amber, and you are my supervisor.
your, I need your last name too, even though I know who you are.
It's
For the
Lissy.
record.
It's Lissy. So I called to make an appointment, and I asked for all the data, And I'd called 3 times, and every single time, the gal on the other end of the line, the 1-800 number that was on the paper, she specifically acted like she had no idea what I'm talking about. And I already went through this the last go-round and got all the data. So where are we following the Virginia Code where it says, the notice shall also inform each property owner of the right to view and make copies of records maintained by the local assessment office pursuant to 58.1-3331 and 58.1-3332, and inform each property owner that the records available and the procedure for assessing them are set out in 58.1-3331 and 58.1-3332. That was not on the form, on the letter that was sent to us the day before Thanksgiving, the most traveled holiday of the entire year in the United States.
Mr. Bryan, could you speak to that, please?
Yes, ma'am. The Commissioner of Revenue was provided that information from Pearson Group. They have a book that they maintain in the Commissioner's office with all that data.
But why was it not on the notice of the reassessment? How many people in this county even know that they can get that information from the county?
The Commissioner's office maintains that
I
data.
have the paper. I can show it to you. Do you want me to grab it?
No, that's okay.
You know what it looks like? And you know it's not on there.
I kind of got an assessment too, so yeah, I know.
Okay, but you knew that you're not following the code.
We will take that. I hear what you're saying.
I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that can't be here, people with disabilities. It's also cold, you know, some people don't travel in the cold. But I'm a little flustered because I'm not hearing anything from y'all about, we're gonna stand up for you, we're gonna make this right. It doesn't seem like any of this is right.
Were you here last time?
No, but I watched it on TV.
Okay, so you saw that we are just as concerned about this as the people in the audience are.
It didn't seem like it. I didn't hear any response out of
I'm
any
sorry
of
you
you.
feel that way, but it's in the Commissioner's office. You can certainly call them and you can get it.
Oh,
And
I
I
understand that.
did-
I just think there's a lot of other people that are not getting this information. And it says that the cards and the sheets containing information are supposed to be available to the public.
They are
and they're-
available to the
And they're
public.
supposed to know about it. So, and then it also says that y'all are supposed to have the date and time that you're gonna set the tax rate. And y'all have just said late winter, early spring. So, that's a little aggravating also for the public.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else here wishing to speak? Even if not about assessment, anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Whitney Gregory, District 3. Thank you. Your recent willingness to consider revocation of Special Exception 2024-154 is not only appropriate, it is compassionate. Your action would not be punitive. It would simply restore fairness and give the county the opportunity to apply reasonable, enforceable conditions when a new application is submitted. Conditions that protect everyone, families, children, property owners, and the business itself. So today, I'm asking for our neighborhood again, genuinely and respectfully, that you continue the path you've started. Please help us move forward with a resolution to revoke the current permit so that it can be reheard with proper conditions for any future reapplication. Doing so will give our neighborhood a chance to heal, to feel safe again, and to begin 2026 with hope instead of fear and intimidation. Thank you again, and we appreciate your service.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Anyone else here wishing to speak? Seeing and hearing none, we will now close citizen comment and move on to public hearing. We have 3 public hearings in front of us today. Mr. Creasy?
Yes, Madam Chair, Board, good to see you all tonight. The first public hearing is regarding ordinance 2025-7. This is relating to the regulations for home occupations, and to establish additional regulations and opportunities to administer home occupations within the county. The Amherst County Planning Commission held a workshop on October 30th, 2025 to discuss these changes. They were brought to you at your December 2nd meeting as a first read. In that meeting, there was one point of topic regarding on-site signage and advertising of home occupations at the residence. Staff worked with the county attorney to change this language, and that can be found within the document that's in your, that is in your packet. And that change is 905.02.8, in which it now says on-site signs advertising the home occupation shall not be permitted. It previously mentioned that you cannot advertise through social media or other forms of advertisement. That has been stricken, and to now where we would not allow on-site signs advertising the home occupation. They cannot be permitted on-site at the house. The rest of the ordinance is verbatim from what you saw at your December 2nd meeting. Staff is not planning to go through that unless you all have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Creasy. Any questions for Mr. Creasy, board? None? Thank you. All right, now we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of ordinance 2025-7? Is there anyone here wishing to speak opposed to the same ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, we will now close the public hearing. Board members, what's your pleasure?
Madam Chair, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and approve ordinance 2025-7 as presented.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on, Mr. Creasy, to special exception 2025-2582.
Yes, Madam Chair, as you mentioned, this is a special exception in our R2 General Residential District for a short-term tourist rental of a dwelling at 201 Williams Road. This petition is brought to you by Shane and Jacqueline Phillips. The comprehensive plan recommends medium and high-density residential for the property. The medium-density category includes areas where suburban patterns of residential development have occurred or encouraged to occur, and the high density is such as duplexes and apartments. I'd like to flip over to the screen so you got a better idea of where we're at. I would say Williams Road is sort of in the heart of Madison Heights in a way. I'm going to first pull up the zoning so you can see that. As you can see, the parcel is zoned R2. And it's got R3 property all the way around it. Over here to the left is Route 163, and then, of course, we have 29 Business over here. So this comes off of Route 163. If you're familiar with Seminole Park, a great development that the county was able to do in partnership with a private company, that is right down the road from this property. There is one land use goal, an objective, and strategy that you all must take into account when reviewing these special exceptions, and that is to promote the expansion of short-term tourist rentals in appropriate locations in Amherst County. As I've mentioned, the property is already zoned R2 General Residential. Code Section 704.03.1 indicates Airbnbs that are either not served by a state-maintained road or within 500 feet of another dwelling as a special exception. That is this case, that single-family dwelling is within 500 and other feet, and that's why this petition is brought before you. The surrounding area in general has the same characteristics as the subject parcel. Williams Road is state-maintained, and the parcel is at the end of a dead-end road. Single-family dwellings are the predominant land use along the road. A majority of the lots on Williams Road are zoned R2 General Residential, except for Seminole Park, which is, of course, zoned P1 Public Lands. The subject parcel sits at the end, as already mentioned, and is adjoined by property zoned R3 to the east and to the south. The subject parcel is approximately 1.54 acres, and it contains one single-family dwelling. This petition was sent to VDOT, and they did not have any comments for the proposal. It was also sent to the county's fire marshal, in which they had no concerns. The impact would allow for a short-term tourist rental of a dwelling. The total number of bedrooms that would be allowed to be rented is 3, and the traffic impact should be similar to a single-family dwelling. This was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission with 4 recommended conditions that are fairly boilerplate in nature and can be found in your item summary. At this time, do you have any questions for staff?
Board members, Mr. Martin?
Mr. Creasy, did Chief Beam have a chance to comment on this or look at it?
It's sent to Mr. Jared Scott. I'm not sure how they communicate in their office.
Chief Beam, can you come up real quick? So Chief, is this the same road that there was a fire on?
Yes, sir.
So I'm guessing that was one, I can't see it, but the parcel directly adjacent to this?
I'm sorry, Chief.
Well, regardless, that's a very tight road.
Yeah, it's very
For
narrow, yes, sir.
emergency access, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what Deputy Chief Scott said about this?
I don't think he had, I think his comments would have been based on road conditions and the road meeting conditions for access, so I think that would be improved based on that, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? Ms. Creasy, I do have a question. For some reason, when I was reading this earlier, I thought that they were only renting out one bedroom. Is that not accurate?
That is accurate. However, regulations allow you to rent based on your septic system, which they are on, and they are permitted for 3 bedrooms. So if, let's say, they were to buy another property and wanted to continue this Airbnb, the way our short-term rental guidelines are written, they would be able to rent up to 3 bedrooms based upon their septic records.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
my last question is, and maybe we've addressed how taxes are collected in the ordinance, I'm not sure. But I know through Airbnb, VRBO, they collect the taxes automatically and send them to the county. In the event that this is being operated outside of that and just private advertising, how do we know that they're paying, how are we checking on that?
So I do know that we would issue a zoning permit if it is approved by you all, which would allow them to go get a business license. Now, if it's privately done and not through one of those major corporations, I'm not entirely sure how the commissioner would receive the tax on that. Mr. Popovich, would you be able to speak to that at all?
No, that would be something that the commissioner's office would handle internally.
Okay, all right, thank you. If there are no further questions, we will open up the public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of this special exception? Yes, sir.
Shane Phillips and Jackie Phillips, the owners of the property.
Yeah, wait till you get to the microphone, sir, because you're also streaming live, so we'll make sure everybody hears you.
Shane Phillips and Jackie Phillips at 201 Williams Road. We're the ones that will be doing the short-term rental. Only planning on renting out the single bedroom. With all the information that's been put out there, there is no new information to add other than we support it because we're the ones doing it.
And we are planning to go through Airbnb for that.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone here wishing to speak opposed to this exception? Seeing and hearing none, we will close the public hearing. Board members, what's your pleasure?
Madam Chair, just for clarification, the only other thing I wanted to ask was, and Mr. and Ms. Phillips, you can do it from right there. This is your primary residence? Correct. Okay, so this is going to be used in conjunction with that? Okay, that was my only thing that I was trying to find through the information, but that's all I had, Madam Chair.
All right, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve with the conditions outlined in the staff report.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you and good luck.
Madam Chair, Board, this is another special exception, 2025-627. This is in the B2 General Commercial District for an automotive repair garage at 138 Amelon Expressway. This petition is brought to you by Sandroff Auto Body Incorporated. The property is located, as mentioned, at 138 Amelon Expressway and has a few tax map numbers, as you can see. It's 148G-1, 13A through 15A, and then 16 through 20. The future land use map recommends commercial for the subject property. This category designates areas where commercial developments have occurred and where future urban, suburban commercial developments have been encouraged. Commercial development should be grouped in areas where extended business hours and high traffic volumes can be accommodated. Consideration should be given to limiting dark sky, lighting effects, stormwater runoff, and the number of entrances and exits on the state highways. There are a few sections in your comprehensive plan that staff has provided you in the staff report in trying to make your decision. The first is under land use goal number 3, to minimize the negative environmental impacts of new and existing residential, commercial, industrial development. Goal 5, objective 2 states work with various properties and agencies to support the redevelopment of existing and upcoming vacant structures. And underneath economic development, goal number 2, grow small business, encourage entrepreneur development. As I've already mentioned, the zoning is B2 general commercial, and section 707.03.6 indicates automotive repair garages as a special exception. I'd now like to flip over to the map so we can get our bearings for where we're at. So this is Amelon Road. And here's 29 Business, so there's that intersection of Route 130, Amelon Road, and 29. Here is Sheetz, so it's right next door to Sheetz, the gas station, and across the road is Food Line, the upcoming Platinum Fitness, and a few other commercial developments over there. And I'll also bring up the zoning layer. So you got an idea. Of course, we are surrounded by B2 general commercial zoning adjoining and, of course, in the general vicinity for this property. Land to the east is vacant, as well as to the south, and of course, Sheetz is to the west. The property is approximately 1.3 acres large, and as already mentioned, fronts on Amelon Expressway. This parcel contains an 80 by 120 commercial building, in which the petitioner intends to convert to his structure, and that's going to kind of lead me into their conceptual plan that is brought before you all. So to get your bearings on the conceptual plan, down here would be the existing entrance that they would be using. Here is the existing structure, the 80 by 120 structure that already sits on the property. This area where my mouse is going to be fenced in, and this is where the vehicles for automotive repair would be stored, as well as some BEV charging. And then up here would be your customer parking and employee parking. Within the facility, majority of the facility would be used for automotive repair, and then of course they do have a customer area and office sitting here. This was sent to VDOT for review, and VDOT had no comments regarding the entrance, indicating that it would meet their standards already with existing as it sits. And it was sent to Emergency Services, in which they indicate that they would like to see a Knox box placed on the property and to ensure proper turnaround for their fire trucks, which we have added as a condition for them to meet. The proposal and its impact, staff does have concerns with the parking of vehicles out towards the Amelon Expressway. However, I'm going to flip back to the GIS, and as you can see, they're kind of constrained with this parcel as the building sits right on the property line. Just for reference, we have no setbacks in our B2 General Commercial District for commercial structures, so long as they're adjoining other commercial property. So that's why you see that right on the property line. And so staff does have concerns with the parking in the front. However, we've worked with the applicant, and now I'm going to flip back to their conceptual plan. They are going to meet our screening requirements for the fenced-in area, which is either a double staggered row of evergreen shrubs or trees, and it will also be fenced in. They will also be required to meet our minimum landscaping. That is in addition to the screening requirements, and that would be along Amelon Expressway. That's one tree every 50 feet and one shrub every 10 feet on site. We have a few other conditions that we've added to this request if you all choose to approve it. The first is regarding lighting. All outdoor lighting will be glare shielded and directed as to prevent illumination across property lines. Regarding parking, all vehicles shall be required to park on the property and not park on neighboring lots that are not of common ownership or on any right-of-way outside of their property unless they have written permission. No vehicle waiting for repair shall stay on the lot longer than 10 consecutive days. Item 3 is for outdoor storage, in which there shall be no outdoor storage. All materials and equipment shall be kept within an enclosed structure. Number 4 is that the owner shall apply for a change of use permit for the structure and receive final approval from the building official prior to issuance of the zoning permit. Item 5 is the landscaping requirements that I just went over. And then the last 2 are all requirements set forth by the Amherst County Fire Marshal regarding that Knox box and turnaround shall be met. And number 7 was VDOT, but that's been taken care of. Staff would also like to recommend one more additional condition. This was oversight by staff. We believe that Sandroff, if approved, has the full intention to build this site as a concept plan before you. And it's a little in the gray area because they already have an existing condition and they already have an existing building. So therefore, staff historically would not require a site plan from an engineer to go in here and do this. However, we do feel as if they need to pave this parking lot on here, and we believe Sandroff is going to do that. However, staff would propose to the board an 8th condition in which the site shall be developed in substantial compliance with the submitted concept plan that is part of special exception request 2025-627, which would tie them back to the concept plan that is presented to you tonight. And at this time, do you have any questions for staff?
Board?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. So I understand your condition, your recommendation to put a condition of basically tying it back to the site plan, but where on the site plan does it say that that's going to be paved? It looks like it's going to be paved, but it doesn't say
it's
gonna
not
be
written
paved.
on there, so that is my apologies. We
So
could,
that's one question. My next question is, with your conditions, it says, well, what's the definition of outside storage?
Miss, I would not know that off the top of my head. I would have to go into our definitions and look.
That are wrecked vehicles waiting for repair storage? Or
No, sir, I would
parking?
not.
Okay. Other question, back on your site, on the site plan, not yours. So how tall are these? You said shrubs or trees,
Correct.
which is it both?
Right now, they're proposing shrubs.
How tall are they?
It would depend on the species that they provide. They do have a rendering down here that they used AI to kind of show, if I can get down to it. I would say they're roughly about 5.5 feet tall based on this. So staff would work with them to ensure that our screening requirements are met. We do have a list of shrubs and trees that are approved based on the ordinance.
Right, so that looks like a boxwood hedge, which is
Correct.
gonna take a gazillion years to grow like that,
Yes, sir.
right? So that's, I mean, I don't know the ordinance as good as you do, but I mean, is there requirements for evergreen buffers and screening and at height at time of planting and?
Correct, there
The other
is.
thing is it looks like there's utility lines going through there, so what are we planning underneath of that? Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna get the final site plan approval, like I say, we can't plant these evergreen trees because, or AEP's not gonna let you do it.
Right, so I believe that's why they would go with shrubs to reduce the height. Now, what's underground, that's something that they would, of course, have to work with Miss Utility to find out.
Well, I'm talking about the overhead.
Oh, the overhead, I believe that's why they're planning to do the shrubs, because they wouldn't get as tall as like a green giant
That's
arborvitae.
fine, but I mean, if we're gonna, look, I think this is a great idea, but details matter. And I think we need to know exactly what type of shrub they're gonna plant, or at least you need
sir.
to know, right?
Yes, sir.
And that it's gonna adequately screen it within a reasonable amount of time. Because if we're talking about planting a 1-foot boxwood there, it's gonna take forever to screen anything, all right?
Correct.
So that's just my comments, and we can talk about it more. Maybe the owner can.
I'm following up on what Mr. Martin said. You said that go back to the parking lot thing, please. all right, so this is a body shop, and you said there would not be any wrecked cars out front.
There will be.
I meant, huh? There would
Will
be?
be,
Okay, would
yes.
be, okay, now that makes sense, because I would assume a lot of their business is gonna be deer collisions. So there would be wrecked cars out front.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Within this area here, this area would be where the wrecked vehicles would be at.
Okay, that was it.
Madam Chair, if I may. Mr. Creasy, when you said that your office had some concerns, was it based on aesthetics? Is that your primary concern
Correct, yes, sir.
associated with the storage area and the screening, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I may have missed it. If I did, I apologize. Have we outlined the height of the screening in that area?
I would have to go look at the ordinance. I do know that trees have to be planted at a certain height.
Well, I'm actually talking about the fencing.
Oh, the fencing?
Yeah, the screen, because that's going to be around that area, correct?
Correct. I would assume it'd be 6-foot height. It's a chain link fence, so typical size. We do not have a regulation for that.
Okay. Because just thinking about how that piece of property kind of sits in a hole anyway, so.
Correct.
As far as screening goes, I don't know if we'll ever accomplish complete screening right there, but I really like the conceptual drawing. And I'm with Mr. Martin. I'll be interested once the applicants come up where we can get some more definite details as far as what we predict. If the conceptual drawing that we're seeing with the front of the building that you looked at a moment ago, that's going to be a incredible transformation for that structure. Going back to the public safety aspect, when we talked about with Chief Beam and ingress and egress for fire apparatus for a commercial structure, you said that's going to be addressed. It hadn't been addressed on this drawing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so again, kind of going back to what Mr. Martin, how do we make sure that takes place?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I know a little bit about fire code, and if you're within 150 feet of the structure, they can technically park on the side of the road to put out that fire to meet fire access standards. It might not be 150 feet. I do know the buildings within that area. They are worried about coming in here and pulling around. So we would have to work with that applicant as they're going through the building phase to get their change of use permit and to ensure that Knox box is on there. And that's when public safety would be engaged as they're working their parking lot to ensure that it meets their standards.
Okay. That would be the only thing I want to make sure that we dot our i's and cross our t's on. Because of that conceptual drawing, it's going to be limited ingress and egress for being able to get the ladder truck in the event, which God forbid, we hope never have to deal with that. But if we do, that we've got proper access to be able to set that ladder truck to get it in and out of there.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to make sure that we capture that and we can hold it, the process accountable for that. That's all I have right now, Madam Chair.
All right, I've got one question. I'm completely outside my lane here, and these two guys are. So obviously, this building will have paint, chemicals, et cetera, inside it. Do we have any type of special requirements for buildings like that from a public safety perspective?
It'd be under building code, so is Nate here?
Yeah, Nate, too.
I mean, whatever the building code requires, for sure.
So, but it's covered.
I would think so, yes.
Mr. Young, can you speak to that?
Thank you. Building code would require limits on the amount of flammable liquids that are stored openly. They would then require locked cabinets, those kinds of storage areas to be able to compartmentalize that hazard. If you increase that hazard level, then you go to a high hazard building, which requires other things to be done to it in order to keep it safe. And Mr. Beam's office will do periodic inspections to make sure they're not pushing those limits.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Young.
So Nate, while you're up here, on this, with this application, is that going, because I don't think this building is currently sprinklered, is it?
I don't believe so.
Would it require it to be sprinklered for this application or for this use?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
Okay. All right. That was the only other question I had. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Creasy?
Not right now.
All right, if not, we will open up the public hearing for special exception 2025-672. Anyone here wishing to speak in favor? Mr. Laverty?
I'm actually, Mark Labadie, District 2. I'm actually going to speak in neutrality. Yay or nay, it doesn't matter to me, but a couple of my concerns are going on to what you had stated, Claudia, regarding chemicals and such. I'm very well versed in the automotive body repair business. I ran a Mercedes-Benz dealership body shop in Florida. I know the business. I know the contaminants and the carcinogenic materials that are used. My concern would be not so much the storage of unused product, but the distribution through the air of all of these chemical paint particles and how it's going to be contained within that structure. So it's not a hazard to people outside directly next door, et cetera. And then my other concern is that he stated that it was a chain link fence. That's not a privacy fence. That, you know, that's nothing. You know, if you want to stop the view of looking at a bunch of junk, you know, not junk, but wrecked vehicles, you certainly aren't going to stop it with a chain link fence. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here wishing to speak in favor
Is the
of the special
petitioner here?
exception?
Madam Chair, is the
Yes.
petitioner here?
Huh?
Is the petitioner here?
Yeah, these guys right here.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming y'all are speaking in favor.
Good evening. My name is Jason Sandroff. I'm the owner of Sandroff Auto Body. We've been a family-owned and operated auto body business for 40 years, and just really appreciate you guys hearing us out, and I appreciate the good questions. Emmanuel's going to address some of those things, but yeah, I'm really excited for this opportunity. I think we could bring a lot to the Madison Heights and the Amherst County. I think I'm really proud of the businesses that we have. We have 2 in Lynchburg, 2 successful businesses, and 1 in Roanoke. We take a lot of pride in the image of our body shops. Screening is very important. So the chain link fence is, you know, it would be screened. You know, there's different slats and different curtains and things that can hide the damaged vehicles. Yes, there would be plenty of damaged vehicles on the lots, but you can visit our Wards Road location, our Lakeside location. We try to keep it very presentable, very professional, and we care a lot about our customers. We care that they are coming to a very clean and professional environment where they're going to be taken care of. So yeah, and as far as the contaminants go, you know, the spray booths, you know, we use the latest and greatest spray booths. If I'm allowed this opportunity to come into Madison Heights, we've already been in talks with the highest, the best paint booth company. It's a European-made company that it's all filtered, it's internal downdraft filtration with all kinds of different filters that protect those contaminants from going into the air. And with that being said, we use a paint line called EnviroBase. It is an environmental safe, waterborne base coat that's not as harmful as paints in the past, like my grandfather used way back in the day. So yeah, I hope those answer a few of those questions. Emmanuel's going to give a presentation and just hopefully answer some questions that you might have. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Emmanuel Seawald. I'm the integrator at Sandroff, and I'm kind of in charge of expansions and thing. And so my charge was Madison Heights, but also I did the Roanoke store in 2025 here. Why Sandroff Auto Body? Obviously, we are a trusted family-owned business with over 5,000 five-star reviews in Lynchburg at the 2 locations on Google, Facebook, and other industry platforms. So we try to take care of our customers. Doesn't matter if it's a small dent or a bigger collision. We obviously want to take care of the best as we can. We are obviously established local business with obviously decades of service in Lynchburg and Roanoke with strong reputation for quality and integrity. We are highly awarded. We consistently recognized for customer service, repair quality, and community involvement. I know we have been last 5 years in a row, we've been winning the Living in Lynchburg best collision shop in town. So we want to obviously continue that and bring that obviously to the Amherst and Madison Heights area. We are obviously community focused. We all live here. We all Lynchburg based. We're not a big MSO out from outside of town where the money goes away again. We say we are Lynchburg community based, and we want to stay that. And a lot of our existing employees and even customers are already Amherst County people. So therefore, we obviously want to continue that and strengthen that community focused expansion there. Obviously, we are in the automotive industry, so we are high-paying, skilled trade labor jobs. So we want to obviously provide stable, high-tech trade careers for people in Amherst County and collision repair, ADAS, and especially with new technologies in cars more and more. So we are, for example, at our Lakeside store, Bethesda certified. So we want to continue that and follow the highest innovation, and so therefore there's always more and more technical knowledge that also brings jobs that are high tech into the area. We see this as an economic boost for Amherst. We have every year we repair about 3,000 vehicles at our 2 locations in Lynchburg. So adding another location about the same size as our Wards Road store. So we expect there's going to be some 1,000 to 1,500 vehicles that are going to be repaired at that location over, obviously not in the first year, but over time, that's where we want to grow to. And of course, there's a lot of local employment, vendor partnerships. We purchase parts from all over, but obviously we'll help local vendors. And that, of course, there's tax contributions of us obviously repairing vehicles. That means there's a lot of tax contribution. And we are, like Jason was already saying, we care about our image. We don't care about our image just because we want to look good, but we care about our image because the quality that we do inside the store will help make the operations smoother. If we take care of our insides, the employees will take care of things, and therefore tools will be in better conditions. The customer vehicles will be repaired better. So we want to be state-of-the-art facility, and like we said, with secure storage lot, landscaping buffer and stuff, we want to obviously minimize the impact on the neighborhood. Like Tyler was already saying, the base layout, we really want to have a chain-linked perimeter fence around this area that we have some screening, either with some slats or some fabric. The idea currently was that it's a 6-foot chain link fence. It's obviously, if the requirement is to be an 8-foot chain link fence, we obviously have no problem of making a change to those things. Yes, I understand the concern of boxwood or something would grow slow. Obviously, I have no concern if we want to use something that is faster growing. There is, I have the picture in here, there's an existing utility line. That is why we chose using a hedge instead of using some of the evergreens that are going a little higher, just because then it's less of an issue long term. And yes, so if it requires, that's one of the reasons why we set the chain link fence with screening already on it, so that in the time the boxwoods grow, we already have some protection of site. And I think that was the main concern. I know it was, I don't mention it here that was, I think, a previous plan that we had it mentioned that is actually paved, but we're already in communication with things. We want to make it easy for us to clean up if there is any, like obviously a vehicle that is in a damaged area that sometimes these things, so makes it easy for us to clean up if we have it paved. And also makes it easier for customers as they're getting in and out of the vehicles. Obviously, I want to show here that we want to, obviously, there's this building that's been long vacant, so we want to just revitalize this area and revitalize this building. Has been a vacant building for over 20 years, so we want to make sure that something good goes in there. And we think, obviously, this is an AI-generated picture of this building, what we kind of are planning, what the idea is of this building. But, for example, if the Wards Road store and the Roanoke store that we just remodeled, we try to follow that same model that we have currently at our current buildings. And we finish the outside very similar from that perspective. Except, like I said, we care about our cleanliness and quality of repairs. So here's just a few images on the inside. We care about high-tech technologies. So for example, this is a mixing booth on the right side there bottom that is fully automated. That basically the technician just asks for how many ounces of the water-based paint that he wants to make, and the machine automatically automates and dispenses that paint for him. For example, here, also wanted to put a picture in there from our Lakeside Drive location. Here's our lot. Even though, yes, it is a wrecked cars, but we try to take care of them. So it's, you can see that it's not much more unsightly than a used car lot. Yes, there might be a bumper missing, but we want to make sure it's already protected and everything. So it's sightly in the first place, even the wrecked car as much as we can. And I think that's a thank you, and obviously if there's any questions, love to answer before we take a seat.
Well, first, we want to thank you all for your willingness to invest in Amherst County. Thank you. And don't take our questions, don't be taken aback by that. But we have found that it's a lot easier for us to move forward if we get all of our questions answered on the front end. That's why Tyler's here, that's why we're here, that's why you all are here. But we are just enthusiastic, and we appreciate you looking at Amherst County. We appreciate what you're trying to do here. Board members, anything to add?
Just a couple of things while we got Jason and Emmanuel up here. So when we look at your conceptual drawing, which is very nice looking, and for the record, unfortunately for me, but fortunately for you, I've had to use your services numerous times, and you guys do a fantastic job. What's the thought process of what your plan as far as your conceptual drawings versus if it's approved tonight, before you guys actually start work on cars? I know there's a lot that got to be done to that structure, but do you foresee the conceptual drawing being completed 100% before work would begin at your location?
Yes.
Okay. The next question is going to be, and I'm not trying to be difficult as far as the screening goes. It's just this is a unique location at a very busy intersection. And I know with what your conceptual drawings show, it's going to bring a different appealing aesthetic change to that structure. Would you, and I guess I'm not sure if I'm going about this the right way or not, but as far as the fencing goes, at least on the 130 side, would you be amenable to increasing that to an 8-foot fence instead of a 6-foot fence with
Would
screening?
it make sense to maybe, I know there's a hill, it's
Yes,
like
sir.
that, there's a sidewalk, and then there's the hill where it
Right,
starts to
right.
slope slightly, and then when it gets closer to the utility pole, it gets steeper. It maybe makes sense to put the fencing and the landscaping closer to the sidewalk, so that way we're already up on the hill, and so we already maybe a 6 or 8 foot fence already higher at that point, and it immediately, I think that would help a lot at that point.
Mr. Martin, what's your opinion on that?
My opinion is I would stay with a 6-foot fence. I would do the landscaping, pick a species that is going to grow fairly quickly. Do not do the vinyl slats in it, because all they're gonna do is wind's gonna blow them around, it's gonna look trashy. It's just my opinion.
Oh, yeah, we'll do the fabric.
I would
to
just
start
do,
with.
I would just do the landscaping and stay at 6 foot. That's just my opinion. It's encouraging that you're saying it's gonna be paved. I do think, Madam Chair, we should consider adding that as a condition and, move on once you close the public hearing.
All right, any other questions?
No.
Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to say to us? Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Is there anyone else here wishing to speak in favor?
I'm Nate Jones, just a resident of the county, and I've known the Sandroffs for over 15 years. I think probably most of you have experience with them, but they're great people. They run a good business, and I think they'd be a great addition to our county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Anyone else here wishing to speak?
Chair of Board, Jim Thompson, District 3. Come here to speak on behalf of myself. I'm on the Planning Commission that did vote for this last month. And I would say, Mr. Martin, we did ask the question about the paving, and they did verbally agree to that last time too, so I appreciated that affirmation. I would say that, as Mr. Adams has said, I've used their business in both locations over the years, and nothing but walking away feeling like I was treated professionally, kindly, on time, and I've been in the building that they're proposing to use several times. And man, what a facelift this would be for that part of the county. And good questions on the fencing and landscaping, all of those are right on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to, excuse me, wishing to speak in favor of? Is there anyone here wishing to speak opposed to? Seeing and hearing none, we will now close the public hearing. Board members?
Yes, Madam Chair. Being in my district, I've drove by this building pretty much my whole life and seen it empty. It's been a couple of people in and out of there. But to have someone come in here and to fix this building up, that's been a derelict structure for at least 20 years, I think we should welcome it. And even with wrecked cars possibly being in the location, which it will, it's still gonna look 100 times better than what it does now. So I supported this from the beginning. You know, I'm glad we didn't get caught up on all the landscaping and the fabric and all of this and that. I'm glad that the board come together and found a conclusion on this. And I support this 100%. Madam Chair, I just have one other question for Jason or Mandy. Do you, and this is just for trivial purposes, what's your intended employee count for this location?
I'd say probably 10 to 15.
10, okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Martin?
Well, I fully support this. I understand what you're saying, Mr. Pugh, but details matter, landscaping matter, screening matters. This is a very heavily traveled corridor in our locality, and, you know, we've got people, ample people that have been talking about their reassessments, and, you know, we need to create an environment that's people want to be in, and that's why details matter, okay? It's creating an environment where people want to be. So yes, screening on this highly traveled corridor is very important. I fully anticipate that our staff will work with them to achieve that, correct? So, Madam Chair, I would recommend approving this with the added condition that the parking lot be paved.
Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. One thing I want to add is, you know, we've got a really good automotive repair and technician class and curriculum at our high school. So I'm looking forward to another place where these kids can go work. Thank y'all. All right, we will now close public hearings and move on to consent agenda. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Pugh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is approved. Minutes are approved. IT strategic plan, I'm turning this over to Jeremy. I think, Mr. Martin, this was at your request last meeting.
Yes, and I think we heard it, and I'm ready to recommend approval of it as recommended. Move that the board approve the Amherst County IT strategic plan as presented, pending budget approval for items requiring additional unbudgeted funding.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Martin. New business appropriations, Nate and Sheriff Ayers. Mr. Young, Sheriff, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. We have asked the board to transfer $36,000 from the code enforcement fund balance to the code enforcement operating budget. This will utilize recovered funds from previous code enforcement activities and allow us to move that towards new code enforcement activities.
Sheriff, do you want to say anything?
Good evening, Board. Nate had asked me to come and be here and to support this, and obviously I do. Over the last 3 months, Nate, we have taken down at least 4 structures I know of in the Old Madison Heights section of the county. And the county equipment and manpower is obviously it costs to do this. The only thing that I will add, and Mr. Popovich is part of, to make sure that the county is doing what it has to put the liens on this property so that the cost can be recouped to keep this going, because there are other structures down there in other areas of the county as well that need to be demolished. The last two that we did, as early as the morning that the equipment pulled on site to tear it down, we had vagrants running out of it that had been staying in it, and the owners of these properties have been made fully aware and given every opportunity to board these or secure them or do something with them, and they habitually continue not to do it, and it became a menace to the community down there with the drug usage and habitat that it was providing for those individuals that choose to live like that. And so we have been pretty aggressive with it. It is costly, but I just hope that the county is taking the proper measures to put the liens on the property, and then the adequate time is to force sale on these properties to bring the money back to continue utilizing this program.
Well, Sheriff, Mr. Young, we really appreciate what y'all are doing here. It's a big service. We know that you don't have to do it, and we appreciate your willingness and what y'all are doing. You're right. It's if you look good, you tend to act good. So.
Absolutely, and if you look at, we take 6 in Maine for an example. If you go down and look, it's a brand new structure on that property. You know, when that old residence came down, it was within just a couple weeks. Someone came in, paid the taxes up on it, paid for the demolition of it, acquired the property, and now have erected a very nice looking new home there. So that's what we need to see in this community. I will let you all know that a lot of folks that own properties, and we have found it in particular down there, have never laid eyes on those properties. They've bought them through online sales, tax sales, or whatever, and acquired them, and then they turn them over to rental agents to rent them out, and they never lay eyes on them. So, and they're not responsible when we reach out to them to do something about these properties. So it's the only way thing we can do to get it cleaned up.
Board members, any questions?
Madam Chair, if I may, it's a couple things, and Sheriff has been gracious enough to give, actually, you and I both field trips down there, and it's nice to see how obviously it didn't happen overnight, and we're not going to transform it overnight. However, I think the last field trip I was with you on is you pointed out that new structure, which was a welcome change right there at the corner of 6th Street. My question is, and I think you and I have had this chat, if I remember correctly, we're using our internal resources for demolition, correct? Do we need to evaluate, because obviously with Mr. Lombardo's crew and equipment going down there, obviously I don't know if we want to compare ourselves to a private contractor, but do we feel like we're in the ballpark as far as, because obviously we must be making it pretty easy for these folks that own this piece of property to come in and pay whatever the fees are and then go about building these new structures on there. Do you two feel like we are in a good position as far as that goes? Or should we tweak as far as to make sure that we're covering the cost of our services? That's what I want to make sure of.
It's hard for me to give an answer to that. I know that when private contractors are contracted to demolish these properties, it's quite costly. Now, I do not think that it's fair for the county to use its resources to go in there and basically demolish these structures, haul them to the landfill, and incur those costs for basically just what it costs the county, because I know one particular property in Madison Heights that the owners refused to tear it down, forced the county to do it, and then they went and paid that bill, so they did not have to pay the contractor. That's not the way that we need to do business. If the county incurs cost, my feeling is it should be a fair cost, not just break even as far as what it takes for the personnel, because they could be working in landfill, they could be doing many other things, but they've got a truck, they've got an open container, they've got a track hoe and the manpower, and then we use inmates a lot of times to do the hand cleanup around these sites. So again, I just think we need to make sure that the county is fully recouping its cost and that this program is somewhat taking care of itself and not coming right out of the taxpayers' pockets.
So how do we ensure we do that? Is that something
And
we need to get
that's
Mr.
something from
Lombardo's
county
question?
admin to look at, as far as Mr. Poffich, finance to look at the true cost and then look at what contractors they do a great job. I mean, they get on it, they get it done, they get it out of there, and it's cleaned up, it's seeded, it's strawed, it's a clean lot when it's done. But we shouldn't be doing it where it's affordable. We'll just sit back and let the county tear it down, pay their cost. That's cheaper than the contractor. That's what it's getting to be.
Because obviously we're absorbing the tipping fees.
That's correct.
Absolutely. Mr. Lombardo and his crew, and I commend you guys. You're swift and you're efficient and you do a great job. But I want to make sure that we're being prudent with the dollar.
Absolutely. The county needs to be compensated for what they're doing.
So, Madam Chair, the only thing I would like to direct the county administrator to do is to partner with Mr. Young, Sheriff Ayers, and Mr. Lombardo, and come back with us with some more information to make sure that we're addressing this appropriately as far as the financial or the fiscal aspect of this.
Board members, are consent to do that?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
I do have some comments. So I deal with this every day with another hat. I can tell you, depending on the size of the structure, you're looking at $20,000 to $32,000 to have a private company demolish it, and you're looking at $5,000 to $6,000 in landfill fees. Okay, so yes, if they're letting you tear it down, I can guarantee you're not charging them that much money, are you? Right? So the only way to do this, board, is we need to set aside funds, if we're serious about it, in next year's budget for them to use if they're going to go use a private contractor, right? And we need to make sure that it's enough where the owners of these derelict properties know that the county's not bluffing on it, right? Because if we say we're going to tear it down, that means it's coming down, right? Kudos and, thanks to staff doing this, and I appreciate you. What I'm understanding here is what you're asking tonight is to take some funds that you've billed back and received those funds, right, to go use for other projects.
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
correct.
it's kind of like a revolving fund.
That's right. In 2016, I believe, we worked with the treasurer's office to be able to attach these debts to the property as though they are taxes. And so as those funds are recovered through the treasurer's office, it's transferred to this fund balance that we're asking you to allocate back to our operating budget.
Absolutely, yep.
Ms. Martin, I just want a point of clarification. You're fine with the current process continuing? You're not saying turn it over to a private contractor, right?
I'm saying that if it gets to a point where our staff is no longer able to do it, then we should set funds aside to allow a private contractor to do it. I think staff needs to evaluate that.
Okay. Jeremy, are you clear?
I'm clear.
Okay.
Madam Chair, one other thing, if I may, for you two, from a process standpoint, do you guys feel like we're where we need to be from a process and a timing standpoint dealing with these derelict structures?
Mr. Adams, I do, and we're working, and you all are familiar with what we're doing on the inoperable vehicles. That has been a long, drawn-out process, but we have working now where it's a one-time service. Mr. Lane is with us to go and serve individuals and make note of all the inoperable vehicles that are on their property and give them the 10 days or 15 days. I don't have one in front of me, and then the record company comes and removes them and puts them on their property. They've got another 5 days to take them back from that. So that is going to streamline that process. As far as the building and structures, Mr. Young is, we've been holding it straight to the line as it's set forth and serving the notices and, giving folks every opportunity. And my feeling is, as many as we've had recently, is I think we'd be given some extensions on them is stick with it. They have ample time to take care of it, and if they don't, then, You know, it's just repetitive, continue going back and serving notices, and that needs to stop because it costs the taxpayers every time we have to process paperwork and get somebody to locate and make a service on it once again. So I think it needs to be as streamlined as it can be and giving everybody the ample opportunity to correct their problems. But if they don't put forth the effort, then we need to do what we have to do.
Well, again, thank everybody that's involved in this, because I think, going back to your comment, it's important. It's important for this county to create that image that, number one, we're not going to tolerate it, but number two, for the folks that care about their piece of property that's adjacent to these things. And again, I've lived here for, I don't even know how old I am now, but for the 53 years, and I guess we all become complacent in some way, shape, or form, but these field trips, as I've called them, in Old Town and some other areas have been some eye-opening experiences here recently. And keep doing what you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you all for your support.
Any further questions? If not, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'll move that, is there any other comments before I make? Okay. I'll move that the board appropriate and transfer the $36,000 in recovered code enforcement funds into the code enforcement operating budget.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Mr. Young, Sheriff, thank you. All right, moving on to County Administrator's Report. Mr. Bryant.
Yes, ma'am. We have a number of things to cover tonight. One of them was we did amend the agenda to discuss the Service Authority appointment. Did you want to do that at the beginning of this or the end of this?
Let's do it. Let's keep it in order.
Do it at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. The first item is Central Virginia Community College Board vacancy. The term of Stacy McBride, the at-large representative for the Central Virginia Community College Board, expires on June the 30th of 2026. She is no longer a resident of Amherst County, therefore is unable to continue to be the representative for Amherst County. Staff advertised this vacancy on social media. The closing date was November the 21st. Staff receives a letter from two interested folks, and we were directed to schedule interviews. However, after that time, Mr. Beck stated that he was no longer able to consider appointment due to a schedule conflict at this time. So at this point in time, we only have Wayne Patton who's interested in serving.
Is Dr. Patton here? Yes, sir. Would you like to come up and say a word?
Thank you for having me. Chris, I believe in your district, District 3.
Yes, sir.
1431 Wagon Trail Road. Living in Amherst for all of about 6 months now, but of Lynchburg resident for 25 years. And my wife and I bought 3 acres out there on Wagon Trail Road, built a house, love it. And as I was sitting out there one day, I thought, you know, I've spent my entire work life kind of working and building a career. I've never really given back. And as I sat there and looked at Bluff Mountain from our property, I thought, well, I don't know what I'm good at, but let me look at the county website and see if there's something I can do to help out. And that's where I saw the advisement for this. And I've spent 25 years in higher ed. I was at Liberty University for 17 years. I started as a graduate assistant, a 31-year-old graduate assistant, after quitting my job running a healthcare company. And that means I'm crazy. But I started as a graduate assistant. 17 years later, I was running the largest academic division at Liberty Online as the Dean of the College of General Studies. And in that time, you know, just learned a whole lot about academic operations and began consulting on the side. In 2017, started a business called Magellan Learning Solutions. We're housed downtown Lynchburg. And our specialty is I kind of built a team of about 60 people, my business partner and I, 60 full-time employees. And we basically go out and help institutions, universities, build out their online program. We'll help you acquire students. We'll build out your online content. And then my passion's kind of what we call academic operations, where we really help faculty and students and staff thrive in the higher ed environment. So we have clients coast to coast now, and it's been a good run. And when I saw this, I thought, well, you know, this is maybe an area I could help in because I do know a little bit something about it. We do work with the Virginia Community College System. They're a client of ours. We do work with CVCC, which I believe I mentioned in my correspondence. And if there was ever a conflict, I would back out of the role on this. But as I see it, and you can correct me, My job would be to represent the community, the board, the citizens, and the businesses to make sure that our citizens are getting our money's worth out of what CVCC does for the community. I know they do a great job. My passion is really making sure that our students coming out of high school having the same opportunities that the other students in the CVCC footprint have. I've got a good working relationship with those folks. A couple of them, I guess, it's a great story. The VP of Academic Affairs there actually went to CVCC, went to Sweetbriar, and now she's the VP of Academic Affairs there. So maybe we can reproduce that success. But really, my job would be to learn about what can we do to help the students here come out of high school, dual enrollment, workforce, trades. It's not just about a degree, it's about a skill. And my companies help institutions and business build content to train people, not just to have a fancy degree, but to have a livelihood as well. So I would add one more thing, that I finished 389th out of a class of 400 in rural Wilson County, Tennessee. I was very sleepy in high school. I cared about football and girls, but I went to community college in Charlotte, North Carolina at a place called CPCC, and I woke up there. So I know our community colleges can wake us up, because then I went on to get bachelor's, a couple of masters, and a doctorate, and I'm kind of passionate about making sure rural students have a future. So I'd welcome any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Patton. Board members, is there any reason to do an interview, to go through the interview process?
I think we just did it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. And Dr. Patton and I share something I just found out. My mama was blessed to see me walk the stage when I graduated. She didn't think it was going to happen. So I'm right there with you. So, but anyway.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you. Same to you. I don't think we could have a better person that's going to represent Amherst County on this CVCC board. So unless any of the other board members have any questions or concerns, I'm willing to make the motion.
Go for it.
All right. So
I'll take a seat.
Thank you, sir. I'll move that we appoint Mr. Wayne Patton as the county's representative to the Central Virginia Community College Board for the remainder of Ms. McBride's term, expiring June the 30th, 2026.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Dr. Patton, thank you so much for your interest and for your commitment to our community. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, moving on, Mr. Bryant.
Yes, ma'am. The next is for Horizon Behavioral Health Board vacancy. The term of Robert Shiflett, citizen member for that board, expires on December 31st, 2025. Staff had received a letter from Marie Patron as well, and an email from Robert Shiflett to represent the board again. Since that time, when Marie Patron found out that Mr. Shiflett was reapplying, she then withdrew her name. So similar situation, we went from 2 to 1, back to 1. Mr. Shiflett's here with us tonight. So that's where we stand.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Mr. Shiflett, could you come forward, please?
Madam Chair, board members, Robert Shiflett, everybody calls me Bobby. For all you folks who know me, I was the police chief here in the town for about 8 years for the town, and I was graciously awarded the opportunity to serve the town and the county on the Horizon Board. And I'm currently a board member there, which ends in December. Be glad to continue doing those services for the county and for the town. I was honored to do so because I had a compassion with law enforcement, 30 years when I retired, that handling mental health calls for law enforcement is probably one of the toughest calls that a law enforcement official will ever take on. And with my past experience as a law enforcement officer, I had some of those calls, and those are some of the toughest calls I ever had to handle. So I made sure that my officers were each CIT certified. I made that mandatory. I had one of my officers was the lead training coordinator for CIT in this region when I was the chief. So I'm pretty compassionate about it. I've been serving on there. Very proud of the processes we have been able to make on that board in the last several years, especially with the crisis center just being completed, which will be a huge asset to the law enforcement community. with getting, these officers out of these hospitals and not having to sit there for hours on end and days on end to get them back to doing their proper duties on the road. So if you guys so wish, I will be glad to continue to serve on that board and continue to put my best foot forward to make sure that the county and the town is well served.
Thank you, Mr. Shiflett. Board members, I would just say that, I'm very fond of the Horizon Board, but mental health is an absolute crisis here in Amherst County. It's a crisis everywhere. And the fact that we've got the opportunity to continue having a man who has served from both a law enforcement perspective and also understands the mental health components of all that, I think this is a home run again.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions?
Chief, we just appreciate your continued desire to do this.
Yes, sir. And I will add that I just recently took a position working with Sheriff Ayers, a part-time position. So if he chooses to continue allowing me to do this, I'm more than happy to do it.
Well, with that, I'm going to make a motion myself. So I move that the board reappoint Robert Shiflett to the Horizon Behavioral Health Board for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2028. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, folks.
Chief.
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes, ma'am. Regarding the reassessment and Board of Equalization, one of the alternates that was recommended by you, by the Board of Supervisors to the Circuit Court for the Board of Equalization has chosen not to participate. Hannah Potts, who is a local business owner, would like to serve as an alternate to the Board of Equalization, unless the Board of Supervisors can propose any other individuals to be appointed. The recommended motion is to recommend to the Circuit Court Judge the appointment of Hannah Potts to replace Jenny Willett as an alternate Board of Equalization member.
Is Ms. Potts here? No, I don't think so. Board members, any questions? Is there a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair, with the recommended motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Okay.
Okay, the next item is good, great, and happy news. The landfill cell 2 permit, we've been working on this, and really you as the board are commended for, really many years ago, you've framed whether or not we were gonna go towards transferring or towards continuing to landfill. I know the board over the years wrestled with that idea. Ultimately landing on expanding cell 2 of the landfill. We've been working on that internally for the last couple of years, working with engineers, working with the Department of Environmental Quality. There's many steps to that, and if any of you want to see a sample mock-up scale of what the landfill looks like, Mr. Lombardo brought one to my office so you can see exactly how a landfill functions. It'd be a great tool to take to classrooms. But the good news is we worked through many different steps. Mr. Lombardo, who's here, who's our director, did a fantastic job. And there's a few things that I want to report. I want to let you know that on April the 15th, 2025, you borrowed $5.2 million for the construction and engineering of Cell 2. The awarded construction contract was for $3.8 million. However, Amherst County was credited. During the process, we were credited a little over $7,000. To date, the engineering fees and the contract, we expect total savings on the project will be over $1 million. So the project has been now permitted by the Department of Environmental Quality. It's $1 million shy of what we borrowed. We will come back to you in the future with ways to execute and what to do with that money. We will work that and get some recommendations from our financial consultants on the best way to deal with those savings. But I just want to thank staff. This comes with a lot of effort. I already thanked Jeremy Lombardo, but there's a lot of staff that were part of this. Mr. Beam from Public Safety, Nate Young, Tyler Creasy, Melissa Woodard in the back, Tracy, you're getting a little bit of that, but Leslie. A lot of our staff have worked really hard on pulling this together. I want to thank them. And so I just want to let you know that we will be putting our fluff layer in at the landfill. And Mr. Lombardo, is there anything you would like to add? Okay. So cell 2 is permitted by the Department of Environmental Quality, and it was on time and under budget.
That's the part I wanted to hear. I was waiting for you to get there. Great job, staff. Thank you. Board members?
Just we had a lot of great trashy people that came together to get this done. So this is exciting, so I appreciate everybody's hard work, and it was very exciting to come in that much under budget and early. So thank y'all all.
So, Madam Chair, first, great staff. I mean, the way you guys work together is amazing. Mr. Bryant, cell 1, the one we're using, how much life is on?
The airspace ends, I think the last report we have was March or April of this coming year, of 2026.
So, on time, under budget.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I know, I think I'm coming next week to throw the first tin can in. Or was it a banana?
Banana peel.
Banana peel, yeah, gotcha.
All right, that's great news. Thank you. All right, moving on to the SEID grant.
Yeah, we're full of good news tonight. The SEID grant award in July of 2025, Amherst County and the Amherst County Service Authority worked diligently together to submit a grant application to the Southeast Crescent Regional Commission for their second cycle of the State Economic Infrastructure Development Grant Program. That's called SEID. This is the second time that Amherst County and the Service Authority applied for the funding opportunity for the same project. In 2024, we were denied. And I think one thing I want to stop there and pause and just say, you know, we were denied. We were told we didn't get the grant, but I want to commend our staff, specifically Tim Castillo and Leslie Sprouse. And instead of just learning denied, they worked hard to understand where our weaknesses were in the application. They learned how to improve the application. And so through solid collaborative effort between the three parties, Amherst County was able to submit a strong application for this cycle. After several months of anticipation, Amherst County and the Amherst County Service Authority are proud to announce they've been awarded $500,000 through the SEID grant program for the Gateway Project in Amherst County. And Mr. Castillo is here tonight. Is there anything you would like to tell the board additionally, and Mrs. Sprouse?
First of all, Board, I want to thank you. It's great working on it as a team on making these projects happen with getting the training. We've asked a lot of questions of the SEID program, where we were weak, what they were looking for, and together with wordsmithing and understanding where we're going, there was 356 applicants for this program. 83 projects were funded, and we're one of the 83. 70% of the funded projects were for distressed counties, where Amherst County qualifies for that. The program is, if you're a regular county, it's a 50% match. If you're distressed, it's 20% match. And one of the things we were able to work through with the program is that the ARPA funds that had been already obligated for this project are eligible funds to be matched, the matching funds needed for this program. So there's no additional out-of-pocket costs for receiving this grant. The total grant funding was roughly $34 million across the states of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. So we hit some home runs on this one.
Board members, any questions?
Madam Chair, I do, if you don't mind. So, Mr. Costello, with the understanding where we initially borrowed at $3.5 million for the Gateway project, right? Well, it's 2.5
2.5 million.
plus the ARPA, correct?
Plus the ARPA.
Okay. So, phase one that you guys approved at the Service Authority, which was under budget.
Correct.
Correct. Where do we sit with phase one right now? Just where the public can know.
It's under construction now. It should, we just had a progress meeting this afternoon. We're anticipating completion mid-January of that project. There have been some changes to that, but no positive change orders, cost change orders.
Okay.
If anything, we've been saving money on the project.
Okay.
So we're continuing to move forward with that.
But what will be the process, or what's the thought process that you and your Service Authority Board have discussed for the purpose of the $500,000?
It will be to reduce the amount of monies needed to be borrowed to make the project successful.
That's in that $2.5 million that's already been borrowed, correct?
Correct.
So what's gonna be your plan? What's your plan for the residual funds that we won't be using out of that money? Have we got other infrastructure purposes that we can use this for?
There's always an infrastructure.
I know, that's I knew the answer before I asked,
Yes.
but just for the sake of transparency for the public.
For transparency, the Authority Board has approved an infrastructure master plan. And
Okay.
we are beginning to work our way through that right now. As we do move forward, we will be bringing things forward to the Board of Directors and through the public as to what those projects will be and how they will be funded. One of the things the authority is beginning to working pretty diligently on is a financial master plan, so we can actually see the actual rate impacts of all of our needs.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Mr. Castillo?
Thank you both.
Thank you. Ms. Sprouse?
Congratulations.
Ms. Sprouse, do you have anything you'd like to say? Well, we want to thank you because without your hard work, that went a long way to getting us this grant.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
You're a rock star in that kind of stuff. Thank you, Ms. Sprouse. Do we need a motion for that one? No? Okay.
Just letting you know.
All right, next we've got the thing that we added, item F, the Service Authority Board. Is Mr. Gillespie here?
Okay,
Mr.
so
Bryant?
yes, ma'am. The board is being asked to make a citizen member appointment to the Service Authority Board. The term of Wesley Woods expires December the 31st, 2025. Staff advertised the vacancy in the New Era Progress on November the 6th and the 13th. We received a letter of interest from Mr. Gillespie on December the 11th.
Well, Mr. Gillespie, thank you for your interest in serving. Board members, any questions for Mr. Gillespie? Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? We've seen your resume, but.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a local real estate broker and then investor developer in the county. Wesley had told me he was going off, and I felt it'd be good for me to learn the other side of it, but also give my 2 cents and see how I can help in improving the county, and also seeing what we can do to keep improving the growth that we've got going. So looking forward to serving and learning a little bit more and seeing how I can help.
Mr. Martin, you have anything?
I think Mr. Gillespie will be a great asset to the Service Authority, and I would recommend that we appoint him to fill the vacancy.
This is quick. All right, motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Mr. Gillespie, thank you so much. I feel like I've watched you grow up. So thank you again for your willingness to serve. We look
Yes,
forward
ma'am.
to seeing what you can bring to the table.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.
All right.
Trevor, if I may, I want to commend you because I was making comment to these guys when I came here tonight. I bird had a crash coming through Monroe at the transformation that you made in that building in a
Well,
very
good.
short period of time. So
Yeah.
that Tyler will tell you that I ask him quite frequently about the progress, and I
Good.
was pleasantly surprised when I drove by there tonight. So thank you for what you've done there.
Absolutely. I try to do my best to
Yes, sir.
make it look good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank y'all.
you.
All right, next, County Attorney's report. Counselor?
Madam Chair, I don't have anything to report in open session, but I do have a matter to discuss with the board in closed session.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to matters from members of the board. Mr. Adams?
Madam Chair, I don't really have anything of any substance. The only thing I want to make note of, and you were there present with me, I think it was last Friday night, but the program that we attended that was sponsored by the Sheriff's Office and some other great businesses within this county was nothing short of amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and obviously, for the ones that don't know, that didn't attend, hopefully, Sheriff, you will do this again next year. But the funds that were acquired Friday night went to the DARE program, which I think is a very, very important program to support our kids and their future endeavors, and hopefully help minimize and eliminate drug use in there, well, for good, right? But that was a great event. I just want to commend the sheriff and all of his staff and all the sponsors.
I second that. I was there as well. And board members, I apologize. I just realized that we skipped over citizen comments. So is there anyone here wishing to speak again? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Robert Richards. I'm here once again on the same subject. On October 11th to 25, the board received a letter in regards to the $25 license fee that every auto owners is being charged when they pay their personal property tax on the vehicles. Since then, I have spoken at every meeting in regards to this issue. As of yet, I have not received any answers or about my questions that I have put in writing or asked them personally. Also, since then, I have received some additional information from the Commissioner of Revenue. I just received that yesterday. I glanced at it, and it brings more questions to mind. Okay, right now, it is my belief in the county, there are 34,975 automobiles that are being charged a $25 fee, which is an amount of $874.30 and $375. My question has always been, is what is the fee for? I can't get an answer. The Commissioner of Revenue, I spoke to her several times. She doesn't know. She talked to her predecessors. They don't know what the fee was actually specifically was for. She stated that she's been trying to find out the information. It's in storage in some boxes. She can go back 20-some years now with no answers yet. She believes it's going to be 30 to 40 years, several boxes that are not even labeled to what's in the boxes. So she's got to open up each individual box and go through each paper because it's mismarked or she don't even know where they're at. I would like to ask this board and to one of you as a person and possibly yourself, sir, sorry, I forgot your name, but excuse me, to sit down and discuss this so we can put this matter to rest. I don't have to keep coming back and harping on the same subject. You talk about transparency. I believe you believe that, and I have no reason not to believe it, but why can't we get an answer of what the specific $25 fees for other than revenue?
Thank you, sir. And I'm not going to respond to your question. However, I will make a statement. So we know where the fee is. The fee was the old decal fee. I don't know why you were told it was in boxes from 30 years ago. It was the old decal fee. When you used to have it on the sticker you would put on your windshield, it's $25. We did away with the actual physical sticker, but the registration fee to register a vehicle in Amherst County is still valid. That's what that fee is for. Mr. Bryant, did I summarize that? Board members, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, that's correct information.
That's the answer. And there's no mystery, there's no conspiracy, it's not hidden in boxes anywhere. That's your answer.
Well, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
If that's the true answer,
That's
which
the true answer.
I'm not doubting it.
Yeah.
If you got rid of the fee and there's no way in order anymore to enforce that because you had a sticker to make sure you can enforce it, which I believe it gave the sheriff probable cause to stop the vehicle and ensure that that was paid. I may be wrong on that. But if that went away, what is the purpose of the fee if you can't enforce your own system?
The fee, I'll say it again, is to register your car in Amherst County. That's your fee. It's on.
So you pay $25. How do you know it's registered? How does anybody else know it?
Because if it's not, if your fee is not paid, sir, when your personal property tax comes out again, we will know it because the fee is not paid. Mr. Bryant?
Yeah, and the
anything
sheriff's
else
here
to
as
add?
well. I mean, if you get a ticket and you're pulled over, they're going to recognize if your vehicle's registered or not.
I understood that the sticker went away because of the cost of the sticker, is why they basically got rid of it. It cost too much. If that's true, when you have your vehicle inspected, you pay a $25 fee, you put a nice looking sticker on the window, so there's really no cost to that. Why can't you bring that back?
Well, mainly because it was the public wanted to get rid of it, and it was certainly more efficient and cheaper for us. But if you'll take your seat, we'll let the sheriff come to the podium. Thank you.
Madam Chair and board members, I think, and I'm speaking just from my understanding, when they did away with the physical decal on the vehicles was when the data systems became where the county could link with DMV. So now if you do not pay your county taxes on your automobiles, two things can happen. Is when you go to renew your license, your tags, if you've not paid your taxes on your vehicle, then you do not get your license renewed for your vehicle. Also, it links to your driver's license, same way. So that is my understanding, that they did away with the sticker, but they still have to keep the vehicles registered through DMV, and when taxes aren't paid and the vehicle's not kept current, then it affects driver's license and/or the registration to that vehicle through DMV.
Thanks, Sheriff. And Mr. Richardson, thank you for pursuing this. You asked a good question. I'm glad that we were able to get you an answer, and everybody that's watching us live, that's where your $25 goes. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I think for a point of clarification, though, through this, we also need to make sure, because I don't want it to seem like we threw the Commissioner of Revenue under the bus either. If I had to assume what she was referring to with Mr. Richards as far as finding the data that backs up why this happened, it's hard to tell. And Sheriff, I know this, I mean, I remember this back from when I was a kid. So I'm sure what she is referring to is where the county code section was that actually was put in place many moons ago that addressed this. If you need further information on that, we can try to find it in the archives to be able to do that. But the information you've received tonight is accurate information. So, I wanted to, just for a point of clarification for the Commissioner of Revenue. So.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak during citizen comment? Mr. Laverty?
Hello, Board. I would like to address a question or two to Mr. Adams and Mr. Martin, as they're both involved heavily with EMT and public safety, et cetera. Would you consider the main role of an ambulance to be one that is to take care of a patient that's in dire circumstances with both comfort and professionalism on their way to the hospital? Would that be what their assessment, what's part of their job description? Okay. I want to now explain to you an experience I had with an ambulance driver. I purposely left my paperwork at home because I didn't want to state her name, because you know I would. And so I left the paperwork at home to save her some opportunity to not have to be spoken about. Anyway, on March 24th, 2025, I was in a very bad state of duress physically. I was struggling for close to 24 hours because I'm obstinate, and also because I don't have put a lot of faith in Lynchburg General Hospital. I would have preferred to have gone to UVA. So anyway, I called an ambulance to come out to take me to Lynchburg General. I want to state to Claudia, she heard the call and she contacted me and asked if I was all right. I appreciate that,
I
Claudia.
didn't hear the call. I heard about the call and called you.
Yes, yes.
I don't want to break HIPAA or anything.
No, I just want you to know that I appreciate that. So, you know what I'm talking about. I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus in any way. What happened was, I told the dispatcher that my driveway is long and not one conducive for an ambulance to come in and out of. And so I said, I can get in my vehicle and get up to the road. I'll wait for the ambulance there. I was in very rough shape. You see I have long hair and I have a beard. After 24 hours of duress, of the kind of duress that I was in, I look really haggard. So I was standing waiting for her. When I saw the headlights come, I knew it was an ambulance. I got on my vehicle and went to the road so they wouldn't drive by me. And what happened was, for 10 minutes, that woman grilled me about why I called an ambulance and what my problem was, and she wanted to just give me some anti-nausea medicine and send me home to say, you know, that's all the ER is going to do for you, so I can take care of that for you now. I said, no, you know, this is a situation that's much worse than that. I need to get to the hospital. I had to stand there for 10 minutes before she would let me get into the ambulance. Then they didn't put a wheelchair, you know, the stretcher out for me. I had to step up into the thing. I was so weak I couldn't even get up in it. They pushed me from my butt to get up in there. Then I'm laid out on a gurney that has no padding on it. They strapped me down. I had no attention to blood pressure, no nothing. The only thing they did was prick my finger to check my glucose. Then about an hour, well, as we're driving, I felt like I was riding in the back end of a hay truck in a field, laid back on the wood floor. And I said, "Man, I can't lay on this gurney anymore. I have to sit up." She told me, "You can't." And I said, well, "Ma'am, I'm going to. I don't care whether you tell me I can or can't. I'm going to sit up." And then she said, "You can't stand up." I said, "I didn't say I was going to stand up." What I believe happened here is at 5:30 in the morning, they were going to be ending their shift maybe about an hour later, and they didn't want to have to go into any overtime. Then also she assessed me as being probably a drug user, and that I was having some sort of withdrawals or something going on, because she asked me, "Why are you shaking?" I said, "I'm shaking because I'm in pain." And she asked me this 4 times. And then we get to the within a mile to the ER.
Mr. Lavery, are you close to winding it up? 'Cause I want to be
I'm very
respectful of
close.
everybody's time.
She said, "I'm going to put a port in you so that they have the facility of having a port in you." Her report was so full of lies that it's just outrageous. To make a long story short, I went into the ER, they maxed me out on morphine, they ran me into a CAT scan, and within a half hour of me being in that in that ER, I was on the operating table and in ICU for 2 days afterwards, and 2 days of regular hospital afterwards. This woman needs to be fired.
Thank you, Ms. Laverty. We're glad that you're certainly doing better than you were that night. Anyone else here wishing to speak? If not, we're going to, yes.
My name is Stuart Gregory, District 3 with Mr. Adams. Just wanted to leave you with a few bullet points as you head into closed session. It's been a long year and a half since the venue was approved on 219 Phyllis Lee. Bottom line up front, neighbors have been impacted, as you've heard and seen through testimony here and public comment. Neighbors, again, are out here tonight after long work days of our own work days, here to voice our concerns. Thank you for hearing us. Thank you for getting it to the point where it's a discussion tonight to revoke, rehear, and apply meaningful conditions that can be enforced. As Mr. Martin, as you said, details matter and they need to be documented, and we appreciate your attention to this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here wishing to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's Abby Thompson, District 3. Before I make my comments, I want to express my appreciation to all of you. For 9.5 years ago, you appointed me to the school board, and it has been the honor of my lifetime to be able to serve. And I just thank you for your confidence. I thank you for your support of our schools. What I want to add tonight is that I want to speak in support of the revocation of the special exception for the wedding venue on Phyllis Lee. I ditto Mrs. Gregory's comments, and I want to add my appreciation of your sincere consideration of this matter. My hope is that you'll find a way to mitigate the issues and restore this neighborhood. I feel if you do revisit the special exception, there is every reason to hope you can support family businesses while also protecting the integrity and the aesthetics of this rural community for all of its citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing and hearing none, we will now close citizen comments and move back on to the continuation of matters from members of the board. Mr. Pugh.
I have nothing at this time.
Mr. Martin.
I'll be very brief. Mr. Laverty, I am sorry you had a bad experience with Amherst County Fire EMS. It was a nightmare. I'm saying, I apologize. You know, typically, I'd say 99.9% of the time, our staff's on spot, on point. I don't know what happened that night. All I can do is offer an apology for you. Okay, well, you can either accept it or not. I can't fire the employee. I'm sure our staff will look into it. Other than that, Merry Christmas, everybody. And that's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I've got one thing, and I've talked with a couple of you before the meeting. Every time I go down Madison Heights or anywhere in our area or anywhere in Virginia just about, I see these vape shops, and they're all lit up, and there's people there. I don't care what time of night you go through. There's people standing there doing Lord knows what. I hear a lot from our public safety. I hear a lot from our sheriff's department, and I don't see any good need that these businesses provide to our community. If you have a medical card, or if you want to use medical marijuana or use marijuana or use a vape, you can go to a regulated dispensary. There's one in Lynchburg that I'm aware of. And so, board members, I'm asking if you all would be willing to at least direct our attorney to see what we can do by ordinance or any other means to get rid of this blight on our community. I know people are going to call me and get mad at me because I called a business a blight, but the daggone things were a blight, and I won't take it back. Board members, how do you feel about that?
That was a lot. Did you include marijuana?
She did.
Oh, yeah. I'd be willing to have the attorney look at that, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you have a need for medical marijuana or, it's my understanding, recreational use marijuana, you can go to the dispensary, which is regulated. You know what's in it. You're not getting Lord knows what chemicals in it that can put you in the hospital or in the grave. So, board members, thank you. Mr. Popovich.
Yes, ma'am, I'll do that, and should have something for you by your regularly
all
scheduled
I
meeting
got.
in January.
All right. Is a motion to go into closed session?
I have, just to add on to that, with a new legislature about to come on board, and retail marijuana is gonna come about as well. So, should that be part of that discussion? Do you want marijuana retail shops in the county operating? I don't know if we even have the ability to do that, but I've been out to places like Seattle or Denver where they are open, and everywhere you look on the corners. And is that something as a county we can have any purview over?
Honestly, that would truly depend on what type of legislation is passed by the General Assembly. If they permit a process by which retail locations can be opened up, that process would have to be followed. Their localities still have the ability to regulate where things are placed through the zoning ordinance, so that is a potential option that I'll deal further into. But when it comes to retail marijuana, I don't know what the legislation is going to be, so I really can't speak to it until we see what comes out of the General Assembly.
Well, I'd be happy if we just started with the vape shops that are selling not just marijuana, they're selling a lot of other stuff that we don't even know what it is. That's my thought.
I think we're probably getting too much in the weed. no pun intended. You know, the issue is, if they
That was a good one, Mr. Martin.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
If they legalize it and then we get a bunch before we have something in place, then we're stuck with a bunch of these marijuana shops. So I think we should probably try and get ahead of the game and look at it before it gets to that. Because I fully believe that come July 1, it's gonna be legalized for retail sale.
So clarify, what are then,
I think we should not only look at the regulation of vape shops where they can and can't locate, but we should see if there's any way to get ahead of, the marijuana sales. And, you know, if it is adopted, then we have something in place ready to go. Just my thought. Heck, I don't know, the county might come out and say, hey, we love weed, you know, put them on every corner. I don't know, but I think we ought to, at least be prepared for it.
Mr. Popovich, are you clear?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, board members, a motion to go into closed session.
Madam Chair, I move that the board enter the closed session for the limited purpose of consulting with legal counsel retained by this board regarding specific legal matters, requiring provision of legal advice by such counsel related to the possible revocation of the Fisher Special Exception pursuant to Section 2.2, 3711A8 of the Code of Virginia.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes.
even get a tangerine this year.
Dean Rogers.
Did we get it? Who that, what?
Did he really? Yeah.
We are appreciated. I bet you he's just kids Claudia one.
Oh,
It does, Nicholas.
I'm not even paying you any mind, Tom. Let's make a motion.
All right, Madam Chair, I move that the Board of Supervisors certify by a recorded vote that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and identify the motion authorizing the closed session were heard, discussed, and considered in the closed session.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All in favor, say aye, and then we'll take a roll call. Aye. Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Pugh? Aye. I vote aye as well.
Well, what about me? Am I chopped liver? Aye.
You're in the weeds.
I'm in the weeds.
And also, I'll let the record show that Mr. Martin voted aye. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Meeting is adjourned.